Let me know when you're ready.
Thanks, Daddy.
All right, I have your blessing.
If making it easy to be an illegal alien isn't enough,
government is another way to say better than you.
In fact, you know how fast a 5-cent hooker goes down.
no sane country would do that.
Cruz and Kasich are in it for a participation trophy.
Oh, what you represent to them is freedom.
Hosted by the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash.
Just remember, all hate mail comes to me.
The Southside Mutt Show.
Cheerleader. I don't have the boots for it.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Southside Mutt Show, hosted by me, Jersey Joe. It seems that the other Jersey boy is running late. We are digging up the dirt on the news. The Southside Mutt Show is every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, and join the conversation. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to reaver.one/shop. Now, this isn't a support as in Democrat, liberal, we want you to give free money to us. This is capitalism, conservative way. You give us money, we give you T-shirts. It's that simple. Basic, capitalistic. Total brain fart there. Whew. I'm off right now. I'll tell you that right now. Seems allergies are bothering me. I've never really had allergies my whole life. But yesterday and today, it's been coming on at nighttime. All of a sudden, just that foggy feeling. And what a time for... There he is. Hold on. And welcome, Crash. Glad you can join us.
Yeah, well, I had nothing better going on tonight, so, you know.
Well, then you'd be calling in nonstop.
Touche. All right, so what's going on?
Actually, we're just getting ready to get into some stuff. And
yeah, what are you getting? What are you getting ready to get into tonight?
Your blood pressure.
Not what I wanted to get into tonight, but I'm not sure I'm going to get what I want, so we can go with that.
The wife shut the door on you?
To be determined, actually.
The door might be
Jerry's not in
open.
on that one.
Well, it might be shut, but it's not locked.
You know what? The verdict's not in on it. The only thing I could say is, as of right now, it's a hung jury.
Too bad you're not.
I walked the fuck into that.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
All
right. Let's actually get on to something semi-productive.
Like your wife?
Okay. You know what? You don't have the drum. You don't have the cymbal. Knock the fuck off. I swear to God, you find a fucking sound bite for that, I will. I'll cut you with a spoon.
You handed that to me on a silver spoon.
Yeah, I know.
So, well, let's actually get into some commentary on news. And it seems that MSNBC has really shown their true colors. And this happened Monday, less than 48 hours after New York, New Jersey bombings occurred. MSNBC, Chris Hayes, in his attempt to criticize guns.
All
right.
What's up, sweetie?
Mom said she didn't do.
It's. All right. For those that have been in bubble, there was a bomb that went off in Seaside, New Jersey. My home away from home. Spent a lot of many weekends.
Okay, honey, right now I can't do anything about it.
Spent a lot of weekends on going to the seaside, you know. It was like the teenage place to be. And then the next night, you had a bomb going off.
I swear to God, liberals always interrupt at the wrong time.
I had you turned down. I didn't hear you.
I said liberals always come in at the wrong time. They're always interrupting at the wrong time.
Well, I'm going over for those that have been a bubble that there was a bomb that went off in Seaside on Saturday morning. Saturday night, there was a bomb that went off in New York City. Multiple bombs that didn't go off were found between Seaside and New York. And then on Sunday, they found 5 bombs in Elizabeth, New Jersey. The bomb in New York went off and injured, 29 people? Thank God nobody was killed, but 29 people got injured.
Yeah, that was actually the only one of the bombings that actually did end up having any injuries at all. The only other injuries that have been associated with this, you know what? I'll take the legal route. The accused terrorist. Because, right, we do. Well, you know what? In all reality, we do have a judicial system. He actually is a U.S. citizen. So, you know what? I'll use the proper terminology. Now, do I believe that he's guilty? Yes, I do.
They have his fingerprints all over one of the bombs.
Yeah, they've got fingerprints. They got the manifesto. They've got the video. Evidence, but you know, but at the end of the day, still. You know what the thing is? We jump up and down.
Yeah, all right. You got a point.
You know, so the accused. The only other injuries that are associated with it was the 3 police officers that were injured.
3 from gunshots. There was 4 officers that were injured because one of them had a blood pressure problem in his. I think, and I'm not trying to knock the officer. The stress of it sent his blood pressure skyrocketing because Linden, New Jersey.
That I didn't hear about.
Yeah, one of the officers, his blood pressure shot up, and
so he ended up with a medical condition due to the stress of the incident.
Yes. Linden is not a place that sees, from my memory when I lived out there, they didn't see a lot of shit like this. I know they're close to Elizabeth and all that, but still.
Essentially, okay, to put it in terms of stuff that I've seen up there, Linden would get spillage the same as like Hamilton Square would get the spillover, not Hamilton Square, but like the White Horse area of Hamilton Township. They would get the spillage from Trenton.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot, but every now and again the crap spills over the line. That's what Linden would get from Elizabeth.
But it's not like New York where, it's more prevalent that you're going to have, a terrorist asleep in a doorway.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing, I think a big part of the reason why it ended up unfolding there, number one, is where his family's at. Number two, that was where the most recent bomb activity was found. I mean, that's where the bombs were found at the transit station.
In Elizabeth,
Yeah, so, I mean, it was all in that proximity. I mean, Elizabeth and Linden are neighbors. They're door to door.
Yeah. So, after all this went on, this dumbass host for MSNBC, this fucking liberal piece of shit, first, he tweets out after they captured Ahmad Khan Rahmani, whatever.
I would just say the accused douchebag.
The accused terrorist douchebag.
There we go.
Okay. Oh, it's funny. He's got charges leveled from the state of New Jersey, and then he's going to have federal charges, and then.
And he's got New York charges as well.
New York charges, yeah. He's just got it all over the place. So
now he's taking it all lines now, and he'll be doing it again later.
This jackass Chris Hayes, first he tweets out, fantastic news that he was taken alive.
You know what? Kind of on the fence about that, and actually,
it's not a big douchebag, but he's more leaning towards. I'm glad the terrorist wasn't killed.
Yeah, and you know what the thing is, though, I will actually kind of, I'm torn on that, but I will kind of lean towards I'm glad that he wasn't because of a couple of things. One, anytime the guy dies, the police and the investigation ends up underneath more scrutiny about their actions than the actions of the individual that actually did the wrongdoing. Number two, the theory is he's part of a cell. So him being alive could actually lead us to discovering what else is going on.
Wait a minute. Let's get back to that in a second. We're going to get back to that point in a second because that just brought up a big bitch of mine. That some news popped today. But that comment by itself wouldn't bother me. His next tweet that he put out that we are also very, very lucky that the attackers tried to use explosives rather than guns.
Yeah, because that makes a lot of sense. Because let's see. Okay, so 26 people were injured
29.
Instantaneously. Okay, no, I'm talking about just in the initial explosion.
Yeah, 29 were in the explosion.
29. Okay, so 29 people were instantaneously injured in the explosion. And, yeah, I guess I must admit that all the readily available firearms and even the illegal firearms on the market today, you pull the trigger one time and automatically, boom, you're going to hit all 29 people in your radius.
Yep.
360 degrees. You'll take them all out just with one pull of the trigger.
How many of the people from the Boston Marathon are saying they're glad that the Sarnak brothers used a bomb and blew off legs and so forth?
Hold on a second.
No,
that's cool, Holly. What's up, babe?
How many people are saying thank you, it was a bomb in the Oklahoma City bomb and the Beirut bombing? I can keep going on and on and on about this. This is... The left doesn't give a shit about Americans.
Tell you about it? Okay.
About Americans being murdered. They do not give a shit. And this proves it. All they care about is their liberal, social justice, snowflake, bullshit feelings. And I'm bringing up the word feelings for a reason. Because it'll come up in the next topic. That's all they care about. They don't care about that these people were injured. They don't care about that people have been killed. Oh, as long as it wasn't a gun. They don't care. It wasn't a gun.
Back.
You back?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right.
That interruption was actually not too bad. That was my neighbor.
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
But how many, and as I was just talking why you were dealing with that, is how many people are saying that they feel lucky that the Sarnak brothers used a pressure cooker bomb during the Boston bombing as they lost legs and so forth. Oklahoma City bombing, Beirut bombing, how many other bombings have been done?
Yeah, let's think about this. Let's look at this from another standpoint, because honestly, this really just shows that this is the one thing that really pisses me off about the media is, one, the absolute lack of education on subject matter that you're going to preach and talk about. Okay, so a firearm. Now, a standard firearm, a semi-automatic, a legal semi-automatic firearm, whether it's a rifle or a handgun, for every time you pull the trigger, you get one round that goes off. If you're a good shot, that's one person.
Right.
Maybe dead, maybe not. Okay. If you choose to use a shotgun, another legal firearm. If you use buck at various ranges, you might be able to hit a couple of people if they're close enough together, but for you to get that spread pattern where you're going to hit a few people, it's most likely not going to be fatal wounds. It's going to be injuries. Now let's go to the illegal firearms. There's a reason why actually very few people really die from full auto fire, and that's because the muzzle rise. It really does take training to know how to handle those. And these
even so,
I mean,
military doesn't even use fully automatic because it's a waste of ammunition.
It's a waste. Now, let's go back to the bombs. All right, he was using pressure cookers. All right, he loads them up with ball bearings. And he loads them up with I believe it was nuts, right, like bolt nuts, to increase the range. I mean, this thing flew 600 feet. I think they found parts to this damn thing. It blew windows out. I think they set up to almost 400 feet in the air.
Jesus, I didn't hear all that.
It launched. If I remember correctly, the dumpster launched close to 100 feet, or moved almost 100 feet. They found debris almost 600 feet away. Okay, and there was windows broken at various stages a few hundred feet away in all directions. A bomb detonates 360 degrees. Now, it's not just with an explosion. it is not just the shrapnel that causes a problem. It's also the concussive damage of the pressure wave. More people actually get hurt and killed, not from the shrapnel, but from the increased air pressure of that explosion, because that will cause internal damage.
Can I interrupt real quick? Can I interrupt real quick, Dean? Stop right there.
Yeah.
Because there was a reporter, and I can't remember his name, and I do apologize that I can't remember this guy's name. He died in Iraq during the second invasion. He never got hit by anything. When he was flying in, they were hitting those anti-artillery shells. The concussion gave him a blood clot that ran to his heart like a week later and killed him.
Yep. Yeah, that's all it takes. You only have to be. It only takes a few pounds of air pressure above atmospheric to cause damage. It's not a whole lot, okay? The amount of pressure that comes out of a standard pressure washer that people use on their driveways, if aimed at close range to the skin, can force air into the air underneath the skin and cause embolisms.
Compressed air and compressed water, it takes 3 psi to break the skin.
Yeah.
I know that. I know that because when I went to school for diesel mechanics, a couple of idiots were joking around putting the compressed air to their skin and pressing it, and the instructor was like, "You trying to kill yourself, you idiot?" And he was able to give us those stats.
Yeah, well, believe me, that's a common thing. I mean, not even just in my training classes, but even like at my job. I'm constantly yelling at guys because they keep using the old school method. I'm going to use compressed air to dust off my clothes.
Yep, I still do it. I'll admit, I still do it nowadays.
The thing is, I mean, I know that everybody does it. The fact of the matter is, though, it is. Okay, but getting back to this, it doesn't take. Everybody. I mean, I'm sure everybody's heard about it from the different wars. You just mentioned one very good case that I'm hoping people actually may remember because it's close to us. But shell shock. That's what it is. Okay, you never actually got hit by anything physical. You got hit by a shock wave due to the detonation of a shell. Okay, that's why mortar attacks, one of the reasons why mortar attacks were always so prevalent in combat as well as so effective. It wasn't so much about how many people we can hit with the actual explosion, it's how many people can we disorientate with the shock wave.
Depth charges.
Okay. That's exactly the principle of depth charge.
You're not out to explode next to the vessel. You're out to create pressure waves that could rupture the sub.
Yeah. That's all you're doing. That's all you have to do when you're underwater.
But it goes to show that they don't give a shit. They do not give one rat's ass about anybody. All they care about is pushing their snowflake social justice warrior. My feelings are getting hurt by guns.
Here's what for you. I just thought of this, and this really just proves what a moron this guy is. They are so after guns that he literally just condoned the use of a potential weapon of mass destruction, an illegal device, an illegal explosive device. He actually just condoned that over legal firearm ownership. He literally just said that he would rather I have explosives than a shotgun to go skeet shooting or hunting. Yep. Really? That's intelligent, and that's the type of people that are disseminating news.
Yeah.
Well, we got the handbasket. Here we come, hell, on the way.
Fox News is no better because they were, I think it was today or yesterday, they were talking about how we need to ban all the items that we can make bombs out of. Bomb-making material should be... I know. I'm sitting there like you're a fucking moron. You are.
So every cleaning chemical in your kitchen.
Vinegar is going to need to get banned. Baking soda is going to need to be banned. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can make a simple bomb that will kill people with simple baking soda and vinegar. And I'm not going to explain how. I'm not going to get into specifics. Right. But I'm saying is you can make a deadly bomb with those simple chemicals.
Look, there's a reason why. I mean, no detail, and don't even bother writing an email to either one of us asking, because we will not tell you.
And explain it real quick, Han. We had to get
you
trained.
You can do more damage going to a CVS than you can go into a firearms store.
We had to get trained on how to detect bombs because of our career, because there were some issues happening in our town. So they taught us how to detect certain types of bombs to protect ourselves. And to do it, they taught us some of the basic knowledge of how to do stuff. Never tried to. I don't go around trying to create them and all that, but it just.
Yeah, no. We learned this stuff through training, through emergency services. I went through the state police's courses on some of this stuff in various states just because of the type of work that we used to do.
Yeah, I just wanted to clear that.
Not from, just being jerk-offs in the backyard.
I learned at when I graduated high school, a friend of mine, two idiots were experimenting with making bombs, and the one literally blew both his hands off and his nuts off. So, yeah. I think he had two fingers left on one hand by the time it was done.
Is that the one
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
Because I think... Okay, that is...
Yeah.
Man,
he was a very good... He was a friend of mine.
Bad.
We all grew up together. It was right around the corner from where you lived.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, he was a very good friend of mine, and we were scared that he almost... The only thing I didn't agree is another friend of ours, his father was a scientist, the kid was very smart, he was playing around making stuff, gave this one that bomb, he thought it was smart to grind it on a grinder and set it off. He sued the kid's parents and won a huge settlement.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That pissed me off because he knew exactly what he was doing. He's the one that asked for it. So, but to get back on...
I'm sorry. There is something to be said about Darwinism, in all honesty.
Yes. I didn't say he was the smartest guy in the book. I just knew him from high school. We all hung out, and I would call him a friend back then. But he wasn't the smartest in the book. To get to another point that just popped up. When this incident happened in New York, they said they felt that they had a small terror cell in New Jersey and New York.
Okay.
That's what
I was referencing earlier.
Right. Well, then Obama and the administration and pretty soon the FBI retracted saying, no, this guy has nobody else involved. It's just him. It's just him. It's just him. He has no international terror ties. We can't find anything. Oh, yeah, they were saying there's no ties to international, even though he's gone over to Afghanistan.
He's gone over there. He's been petitioning for his wife from overseas to get her visa and her citizenship.
She was here. She was.
Well, yeah, but he had to fight for years for that.
They did catch her. For those that don't know, they caught her.
Is it wrong that I believe nothing out of that administration's mouth? And
I know.
Since
now,
with Clinton,
wait a minute. Now,
coming out of that.
Why I'm bringing it out now, they say there's two others involved that they're looking for. They have them on video. There's two other people involved.
Well, no, I've heard varying accounts of that. One, I've heard that they were involved. The other account I heard was they stumbled across the package.
No. Not those guys.
Okay. Okay.
There's two other guys they have on camera that are involved. What you're talking about is there's two people that saw the luggage, pulled it out of the garbage, started rummaging through it, saw the pressure cooker, dropped it, and left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not them. They're actually looking for two other gentlemen that they say are fully involved in this and part of the plans. Which, all right, they arrest the guy, and all of a sudden it's, oh, yeah, there's two other guys involved now. Yeah. So, I gotta read something because I got a little creative today. And I might actually do it as a parody song later. And I think you would enjoy it because you got into country music. And it's Hillary Went Down to Georgia. The devil went down to America. She was looking for a soul to steal. She was in a bind because she was way behind. And she was willing to make a deal. I got more, but that's all I'm going to go with that right now. But tell me that doesn't fit her perfectly.
Dude, we got to finish the song.
I have it fully written.
Lyrics for that. Do you?
When she came across a young man sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot, and the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, "Boy, let me tell you what."
It's the devil went down to Georgia.
Yeah, I know. But and instead of Johnny, it's Donnie.
But the what?
Instead of remember, it's Donnie in the song, or excuse me, Johnny. And the boy said, "My name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet. My name's Donnie." Donald Trump. Oh, what the hell? Because hell broke loose in America, and the devil deals the card. I got creative. I got to admit, someone else gave me the idea because Hillary came down to Florida. Huh?
If he shows up to the presidential, to the debate, and puts a fiddle down on top of his.
That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. Oh, we should petition Trump to bring a fiddle. That would be funny as hell.
That would be so funny. Oh, God, that'd be so funny.
But someone put the devil went down to Florida, and she was looking for. I cracked up, and that's when everything else kind of went into line. I started just going with it. I changed his because it was it fit in. It fit into her because she came down here. She's looking for a deal to make because she's behind, and even on the liberal polls that have been pulling for her, they're adjusting these polls, and guess what? She's still behind.
Yeah.
So if you actually looked at the poll, she had to cancel one of her rallies again because there wasn't enough people. She's got caught using a green screen twice to try to show that there was more people. When she's on news at the rally she does hold, the shot that they do is so tight. She's getting max 100, 200 people. Trump's filling hockey arenas up. How can you say that woman is ahead just by those numbers alone?
Honestly, I'm thinking that Trump needs to start using football stadiums. At least then I'll actually start watching something broadcasted from there.
Oh, let's go on that. Friggin' NFL, their ratings have gone down faster than Colin Kaepernick kneeling.
Oh my God! Speaking of that, did you see the South Park premiere?
I saw it on the news the other day, where they're kind of like the 5-year-old. Is she going to stand or is she going to sit?
No, they did. There was two parts of it. One, they redid the national anthem, which I only caught a bit of, but the one that I actually saw the whole thing of was freaking. It was at the stadium, and it says, "We now like for everybody to stand." For our national anthem, we would like everybody to stand or sit or kneel to show respect for our country. And the announcers start going, "Hey, they just nailed it to him. Nobody knows what to do." And they show Kaepernick on the field, and he's kneeling, and then he stands up, and he doesn't know what to do. He's like, he's completely screwed. It doesn't matter what he does. Doesn't matter what he does. He's showing respect for the flag. He's showing respect for the country. He's completely confused right now. I freaking lost. I started laughing my ass off.
I'm laughing at all these players that are, I'm not going to stand for the national anthem and the flag because it's all racist. And what do? They put the helmet on and they run out on the field. And on the back of their helmet is an American flag.
Here's probably my biggest thing with all this. Now, part of what makes this country great is the ability to. Actually, you know what? I just looked at the time.
Yeah,
let's. Need to break for a commercial before we get into this.
Yeah, because actually, I was listening to a black gentleman that was discussing this, and he was on the opposite side of Kaepernick, and he made some good points. But we'll bring that up after the commercial. Right, you're listening to the Southside Much Show right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. What? I hit it right. I said Southside Much Show.
You started with the R.
No, I didn't. No, you didn't. You're hearing things now.
Yes, we're going to go to the replay.
All right, we'll be back after this message.
Beep, beep.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, at Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
My name is Chris Peranto, call sign Tonto. I was with the Global Response Staff. We were the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency in Benghazi, Libya on 9/11/2012. Myself and my team responded to an attack that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, and two of my teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty. Radical Islam is basically terrorism in a nutshell. It wants to not only put down Western values, it wants to kill anybody that supports those Western values, which is freedom, which is Christianity, and which is also anything that looks poorly on Sharia law. We've allowed it again to grow into something that it shouldn't be, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every day that we don't lead from the front. Obama and Hillary, by avoiding the phrase radical Islam, they're being politically correct. They don't see it for what it is, and that's straight up destroying the Western world. Radical Islam doesn't have a fear. They will give up their lives. They will detonate themselves. They will do anything they can to fulfill Sharia law and kill the infidels. If we're not able to even say radical Islam, the word radical Islam, there's no way we can fight it. There's no way we can defeat it. The United States of America doesn't lead from behind. We are always setting the example. If not, we're going to see terrorism get bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just going to be continual lone wolf attacks in the United States. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I don't want to see my family go through that. Please join me in waking up Washington in this fight on radical Islam, seeing the threat that it really is. Sign up at leadingfromthefront.org.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutts Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt. And welcome back to the Southside Mutts Show with your hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash. And we're digging up the dirt on the news. The Southside Mutts Show is every Wednesday, 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, or if you just want a fucking kick-ass t-shirt and to push it right in the liberal's face, go to reaver.1/shop and pick up one of many different types of jerseys that we have. Not jerseys, t-shirts. The next subject we're going to talk about had me thinking jersey, so I'm going to let you lead out with this, Crash.
All right. This whole movement with these NFL players, this idiot, and I'm being very nice with that, Kippernick, whatever the hell, we talked about
Crappernick.
Yeah, I like that better. You know what? The thing is, do I agree that we have the right to protest? Yes. Do I agree that one of the things that makes this nation great is our ability to disagree and agree to disagree? Yes. I think those are all things that make this nation a good, strong nation. Well, at least it used to. The problem is now, essentially, it's gotten to the point where if I don't agree with you, I'm wrong and I'm a bad guy and I'm a degenerate, which that kind of removes the whole goddamn point. Essentially, you're trying to guilt me into agreeing with you, which removes the whole point. So we're going down the wrong road, obviously. Now, this whole movement that got started, do I agree? Yes, we should be able to protest. You've got a problem with police brutality and the rest of this. Okay, fine. I'm sorry. Please remind me again where the national anthem and the American flag only applies to the police department. And beyond that, only applies to, and I will freely say this, the jerk-off officers that decide to disregard their oaths of office. Now, not all cops are good.
No.
And not all are bad. Just the same as
not all black people are bad because a minority few of thugs commit.
Exactly. Essentially, what you're screaming and yelling about is this profiling crap. Well, hey, guess what? Go take a look in the goddamn mirror. You're doing it too. You are guilty of what you're pissed off about.
Let me jump in on that point.
Let
me jump in just real quick. There was a guy on a sports channel, this black gentleman, and I was listening to him tonight, and that's one of the things he said. He said that the black people as a whole do not want to be judged on the few ignorant, disgusting, violent black people, the thugs, the gangbangers. He doesn't want to be judged on that. And he said we shouldn't be judging all the police on the act of a few. So it's not just two white guys' opinion. It's also people of color. They have that same opinion. You shouldn't be judging everybody by the few. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Exactly. And no, that's fine. And that's a great point. And that's exactly what I was trying to get at. And the thing is, what you're pissing on is you're pissing on the people that are actually defending your right to be able to do it. You're actually crapping on the people, putting their lives in danger to defend your rights. You're telling them that they don't fucking matter. Okay? Now, this whole, holding your fist up in the air thing, that whole movement is literally, we've seen it. We've seen the signs. We've seen the chants. Now, okay, is the entire movement bad? No. But I haven't heard the good parts of it condoning the bad parts of it. Everybody's falling behind it. And it's just, honestly, it's freaking disgusting to me. And this crap that just happened up here on the Northeast with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I will freely admit, not a huge football fan, but I would root for the Eagles. They are the home team for me. Not anymore. Fuck them. Now, prior to that game, when it was leaked that, well, not leaked, when it was talked about that, this could happen, the coach said, well, if the whole team agrees, then I'll go ahead with it because I don't want to distract away from the game, and that will show unity. Honestly, I'm going to agree to disagree with you on that one. Does it show unity? Yes. But again, you're crapping on my flag. I have a problem with that. All right? So that was he said his words. That's the only way he would.
Can I throw in my point that I made about the American flag and football players?
He didn't go along with it. He said that's the only way.
Yeah, the whole team didn't do it. 3 players.
The whole team didn't. Only a few players did. So I'm sorry. Where's your credibility? Out the fucking window.
Can I point out about the American flag like we were talking?
Go ahead.
They're complaining about the American flags being racist and all that, but they put the fucking helmets on freely when on the back of every single helmet is an American flag. So I guess they're full of shit on their statement of protesting against the injustices of our American flag.
One, putting on that helmet is providing a paycheck.
Yeah.
Sitting on their asses on the bench isn't affecting their pay. And honestly, I think it freaking should. Now, what pissed me off even more was when it came out after that, and I don't remember who it was, but it was somebody from the Eagles turned around and said, well, this was being discussed that we would do this last weekend, that this protest would take place, but we decided that we shouldn't hold the protest on a Sunday game, which coincided with the 15th anniversary of the terrorist attacks in New York City and D.C. and Pennsylvania. That wouldn't have been proper to the victims and their families, so we postponed. Now, I'll give some credit for having a slight margin of taste, I suppose. However, the fact that you turned around and fucking pointed it out, that means right there you didn't give a fucking shit either way.
Nope.
And all those people that went up there and didn't come back, you shit on them. And the ones that did and that died afterwards, you just crapped all over them. And the ones that are still suffering to this day from medical conditions, whether it was exposure, PTSD, physical injury, I don't give a shit what the fuck they're exposed to or what the hell they're suffering from. They're suffering, and it's not just them, it's their goddamn families. You crapped all over them. So I'm sorry. Fuck you.
They're getting paid back. The NFL's getting paid back. Their ratings have dropped drastically. And the fact that it's coming out that we talked, and I know you didn't know it, and it kind of pissed you off. It's pissing off everybody. The military tributes that the NFL does all the time, and they're so proud to back the military, but now it's coming out that the military is forced to pay for all of those tributes. It's not the NFL doing it. They're charging. It's a bunch of bullshit that's going on. Now, there was, as I said, I was listening to a black gentleman, and he said what makes it sick for him as a black man is he's watching a bunch of gentlemen screaming about being oppressed as they make millions of dollars. The NFL has basically made more millionaires than any other industry, except me and you talked about it, and NBA might have beaten it out, but the point's still there.
Well, you know what? It's possible. Honestly, the NBA, I think, might be neck and neck. If this was 10, 20 years ago, I'd said the NBA flat out won. Nowadays, I don't know. I think football actually, after we talked about it, I kind of thought about it. Football might actually be better.
Yeah, but but it's still, the point is, these sports in America.
Well, I don't see any basketball players pulling this crap either.
Yeah, it's the oppression. They're whining about this shit. I'm sorry, they are whining. They're not. I don't know. It's
if they're so concerned about,
they could be out there doing more.
All the oppression and all the crap. Yeah. Why don't you get off your freaking ass? Instead of just doing a 2-minute protest, why don't you get off your fucking ass when you're not in training, when you're not at a game, and you're not traveling? Go out in some of these freaking areas where all these problems are.
And try to stop the black-on-black murder rate. 90% of the black people are murdered by other blacks.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Until you're willing, you know what? You want to talk about equal rights? You want to talk about all the rest of this shit? You walk out in the middle of the fucking city and you try to put a stop to something without backup and without protection, and you put your ass out there, then you come fucking talk to me. Until then, sit down, shut the fuck up, and don't shit on my fucking flag.
I agree. I mean, it's because let me tell you, the left, and it's going to lead into the next subject, the left has no problem silencing conservatives. You have Sally Cohen right now, who came out and said that she is happy free speech is under assault on campuses. She's happy. She says feelings are valid, and I'm never going to argue with people's feelings. If they feel they can no longer speak against positive social change, good. They think diversity is dumbing down humanity or the greatness and exceptionalism of America. I'm happy that it's under assault. So, because my opinion is not the same as hers, she has no problem with my speech getting stopped. I shouldn't have a right because her opinions are more important than mine. That is the definition of a fucking bigot right there. Plain and simple. I don't care. I may not like your opinion. I may not like what you have to say. But you have the right to say it. These protests, you can go ahead and you could do your protest by not standing for the NFL. Go ahead. But I have the right not to watch those games. I have a right not to buy from the sponsors because I'm against what you are doing. I'm so sick of this one-sided argument. The liberals are glad our First Amendment is under attack. They don't want us speaking because they disagree with it. Fuck you.
Yeah, but yet they can say whatever they want, correct?
Because feelings are more important, but my feelings of my rights have no right.
No, feelings aren't more important. Only their feelings are more important.
Yes, and that's what it comes
Not
down
feelings
to.
in general, just theirs.
And that's exactly what it comes down to.
Now, did you hear about, I'm guessing we're on the whole free speech thing now,
Yes.
right?
I figured we were segueing into it. And we didn't plan it that way. It just happened to work that way.
Now, did you hear about what happened? I can't remember which college it was. One of the universities, they had a free speech wall. Did you hear about that?
Free speech what? Wall?
A free speech wall, yes. A student organization, and this was across party lines. This was like the student organizations. You have the Democratic and the Republican and the Liberal. Okay, they actually all got together and they coordinated together. Wow, gee, there's a concept. A free speech wall. They spent their own money. They raised the money and they spent that money plus money out of pocket to build a wall. And they plastered it with paper and said, you can put on this whatever you want. It's uncensored. So
Holy
people did.
shit.
It got such attention, they ended up having to do the second side because they didn't want to remove what people had already done. So they completely plastered the back side of it so people could do more. Somebody put something about, what was it? I think it was Obama sucks. An administrator, not even a student, a freaking administrator, a professor that's supposed to be teaching our youth, turned around and filed a complaint saying he was offended by it. Got the police, told him to take it down. They said no. He came down with a box cutter and he cut it out of the wall. That's what the student organization did.
Filed charges?
They put up a fresh... Nope. They put up a fresh piece of paper. Somebody walked up to it and wrote, guess what? Obama still sucks.
Nice.
So he turned around, he goes and he calls the police. And based on the college's rules of conduct and all this convoluted crap, they could keep the wall up and censor what everybody says because it's offensive. They can't offend anybody through free speech, so they could censor it. Or they could take the wall down, or they're all in violation of some bullshit ordinance that nobody had ever heard of before, but actually evidently did exist, and they would all be fined and possibly imprisoned. So what the students turned around and said was, well, fine. if we're in prison, we can't keep speaking up about this. We're sure as hell not going to censor it. We'll take it down. Hello, social media. And they started making YouTube videos and blasting this and the professor's name and everything else all over the fucking airwaves. And you know what? That son of a bitch needs to lose his fucking job.
Probably won't. I mean, you have a professor. You have a professor out in California. The students were putting up a memorial paper posters. We can't forget the victims from 9/11. This fucking cunt ran around tearing them all down, saying that America deserved what it got. It's imperialistic, and went on this fucking rant. And she tore down all the posters twice. This is what they're teaching our kids, that we deserved to be attacked.
Try teaching my children that.
Oh, try that with mine, and you'll get my foot up your ass is what you'll get. It pisses me off, this liberal. And I had a guest on my daytime show, and we got into the discussion of the difference between the East Coast and the West Coast. And what it is the disconnect between people on the East Coast. West Coast is going, oh, man, and just let you know, we got 2 minutes. Oh, man, it sucks what happened. We're sitting here, we're pissed off because it's like if a bombing happens in the Middle East. It's not exactly affecting us. It doesn't
directly affect you. And you know what, though? Here's my message to those people on that West Coast.
I mean, he's not saying that they don't care, but he can see the difference where we get pissed.
No. The difference is they're not directly affected by it. And that's the problem. Because they don't look at it like they were directly affected by it. But then they get all freaking bent out of shape because they're not getting support from us because something they're upset about. Because of gay marriage or whatever the hell else they choose. And I'm not trying to make light of gay marriage, and please don't take it that way. But I'm sorry. You're going to turn around and say that we deserve to get attacked, that we deserve to have over 3,000 people, pretty much killed hundreds of them instantaneously, the rest of them slowly? Some of them knew it was going to happen?
Some of them decided to jump out a building and fall for 10 seconds.
And that's what I was going to say. Do any of you guys know how long it takes for that fall to occur?
10
seconds.
seconds.
The moment you decided to jump, you've got time to literally sink the entire way down. Yeah. Now, yes, that is instantaneous, but you literally see it coming.
There's a professor. He did the math. He did the math, and he said it's depending on which way your body is. You know, if you're level with the ground, you're going to go slower because of wind resistance. But he said the fastest anyone would have made it down was 10 seconds. 10 seconds. That's an eternity at that point. You had some people, you could see they twisted their body so they would hit head first as quick as they could. And some flipped over so they couldn't see it. It pissed me off. And I hate to say it, we are out of time, Dean. It pisses me off.
No, I'm right with you. I'm with you, brother.
So I know I'm getting stuttering and stammering, but it really it pisses me off beyond belief when it comes to these subjects.
Well, that's how I know you're pissed.
Yeah. All right.
You only get like this when you're really pissed.
So.
All right. Good night, America. Thanks for listening.
We'll see everybody next week for the Southside Mutt right here on SHR Media on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. I will return tomorrow, 11 o'clock a.m. for the Reaver of Common Sense. Talk to you later. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.